I remember the exact moment my stomach dropped. Not when she lied. Not even when I saw the proof. But the half-second before, when my thumb hovered over the word activity and my brain still held onto some dumb, desperate hope that maybe I'd imagined everything. It was 2:06 a.m. I hadn't been able to sleep. The apartment felt too quiet, and she hadn't texted since 8. Said she was at Lena's for a girls' night. No internet at her place, she added casually. Don't wait up. Going to be a lot of wine and old rom-coms. I said, have fun. But something stuck in my ribs after that. Something about how fast the message came, how quickly she signed off. She was never fast. She typed like she was trying not to wake the furniture. But this time, it was like she wanted the conversation shut. Clean and quick. I didn't go looking for evidence that night. I swear I didn't. But my laptop was open. Her account was still logged into Chrome. And curiosity isn't a choice at 2 a.m. when your chest won't stop tightening and the silence sounds like it's waiting for something. So I clicked. My activity today. There it was. Chrome opened at 2114. Google Maps. Directions to 17 Privalovska Street. YouTube. How to connect to 5G Wi-Fi. IP. 145.182.67.89. Network. Sasha_5G. I stared at it like it was a foreign language. Like maybe I'd misread it. But I hadn't. I looked up the IP. It led to an apartment complex. A good 35-minute drive from Lena's. She wasn't at Lena's. She was at Sasha's. That was the moment. The stomach drop. The blink where your whole life rearranges itself around a new axis and you just sit there, dumb and still, watching it happen. My breath caught. The silence became a scream. And I just sat there, alone in the dark, listening to the hum of my monitor and wondering how long she'd been lying. I checked the clock. 2:09 now. Almost 5 full hours since she'd signed off. 5 hours where I stared at the ceiling like an idiot while she, watched a movie? Got cozy on some other guy's couch? My hands were shaking. I wasn't even mad yet. That came later. At first, it was just confusion. Disbelief. Because I knew Sasha. Not well, but enough. He used to work with her. Tall. Smiles like a man who knows what he's doing. She always said he was annoying. Too intense, she said once. Tries too hard to be cool. But now she was connected to his Wi-Fi. No internet at Lena's, huh? I refreshed the page. More activity popped up. Amazon. Orders. Lingerie. Red. Try before you buy. I swallowed. And then, as if fate had a cruel sense of humor, I saw the timestamp. 21:48. Google search. Wine bars open late near me. She was out. She wasn't hiding in someone's living room with blankets and Netflix. She was planning. Calculating. And she'd left her account logged in. I don't think people realize how much data their Google history gives away. IPs. Search times. Logins. Locations. Every click is a breadcrumb. And she was leaving a whole trail straight out of our life and into someone else's. I clicked over to Maps again. Street view. Privalovska 17. There it was. An old beige apartment block. Balconies cluttered with drying clothes and satellite dishes. Nothing fancy, but enough to be private. Enough for her to hide. The Wi-Fi name haunted me. Sasha_5G. She didn't even try to cover it up. Maybe she thought I'd never look. Maybe she didn't care. Or maybe, and this was the one that really made my blood run cold, maybe she wanted me to find out. Somewhere in the building, maybe she was even laughing. Lying in his bed. Glass in her hand. Whispering things she used to whisper to me. I sat in that chair for a long time. Not crying. Not yelling. Just frozen. Because there's a kind of betrayal that doesn't come with fireworks. No screaming. No broken vases or slammed doors. Just a slow, quiet shift in reality. A click of a mouse. A name you weren't supposed to see. Sasha. Google knew before I did. And that night, I realized something simple and terrifying. She wasn't mine anymore. Maybe she never was. The next morning, I woke up with the taste of metal in my mouth. Not blood, just that dry, electric bitterness you get after too little sleep and too much knowing. She came home at 9:12 a.m. I heard the keys in the lock, the quiet clatter as she kicked off her shoes. The same routine, same rhythm. But everything in me recoiled like her presence was smoke seeping under the door. She walked into the kitchen and poured herself a glass of water like nothing was wrong. Like she hadn't spent the night betraying me under someone else's ceiling. I sat at the dining table, pretending to scroll through something meaningless on my phone. I didn't look up. I didn't say anything. I didn't need to. She spoke first. God, Lena's couch is a backbreaker, she said, stretching her arms above her head. I barely slept. I let that hang there. Watched the reflection of her in the microwave door. Hair tied up. Still wearing the hoodie she said she was taking to Lena's. The lie clung to her like a perfume I couldn't place. Must have been a long night, I said, tapping absently at my screen. She paused. Not long. Half a second, maybe. Just enough to catch. Yeah, we drank too much. Internet still sucks there, by the way. I couldn't even get a text out. I nodded, took a slow sip of my coffee. She was spinning the story for me now, layering it with useless details like a child trying to make a lie feel fuller. She didn't ask what I did last night. Didn't look at me too long. Just filled the air with words until she felt safe. I watched her disappear into the bedroom, and I finally exhaled. She was good. Polished. The lie was seamless on the surface. But the data didn't lie. After she fell asleep, I assumed she did, I went back through her Google activity. It was all still there. Unchanged. The searches, the IP logs, even a quick log into Instagram at 11:27 p.m. The most damning entry? Gmail, drafts. At 22:03. That meant she typed something she never sent. I clicked through her Gmail on my laptop. She was still logged in. Still trusting. Or lazy. Or both. There it was. The draft. No subject. No recipient. Just 2 sentences. I think he knows. If he asks anything, I'll just say we lost power. That's when something inside me shifted. Not just the anger, but something colder. Strategic. I was sitting on a weapon she didn't know existed. The truth, in its rawest form, archived with timestamps and geolocation. All from her own hand. And she had no idea I was watching. I didn't confront her that day. Or the next. Instead, I studied her. Quietly. Casually. Like I was some amateur biologist observing a beautiful predator. She would leave her phone face down. Always. She'd start using airplane mode more often. She even changed the passcode. But none of it mattered. She never logged out of her Google account on the laptop, and that was all I needed. Everything she did was synced. Her entire digital life mapped in real time. Wednesday, she texted me around 6:40 p.m., said she had a late shift. Emergency meeting. She apologized for the 3rd time that week. I waited 30 minutes and opened the activity tab again. No Google Docs. No Google Calendar. Just Chrome again. This time around 7-Eleven. The IP had changed. Still residential. Still not Lena's area. The Wi-Fi? Dimitri_guest. I copied it down, opened another tab, and searched for the router registration. Guess where it was? Same district as Sasha. Another apartment. Same pattern. Another lie. I started building a file. Not a spreadsheet. Not screenshots. Something more surgical. A folder on my desktop. Labeled weather reports. Hidden in plain sight. Inside, a list of every timestamp, every suspicious IP, every network. A journal of digital movements. Her digital betrayal painted like an oil canvas. I didn't know who Dimitri was. A friend of Sasha's, maybe. Another fallback. A backup plan. She was bouncing between houses like a touring performer. Telling me one thing, doing another. And for a while, she was good at it. But good doesn't beat meticulous. Not when you're married to someone like me. I started watching for patterns. What she searched before leaving. What music she played. What YouTube videos she queued. She was laying tracks without realizing it. Every woman thinks she's the exception. Every liar thinks they're clever. But betrayal has a rhythm. And once you hear it, it's deafening. That Friday, something new happened. A Google Calendar event popped up at 3:32 p.m. Dinner, 2000 hours, Sasha's. She deleted it within 20 seconds. Too late. I saw it. I took a screenshot and saved it to the weather reports folder. That was the moment I stopped being the betrayed husband and started becoming something else. Not a monster. Not a saint. Just someone with a long memory and a slow hand. She was building her escape in pieces. She thought I couldn't see the blueprint. But I had the whole architectural design. That night, when she curled up beside me in bed, I watched her back rise and fall with every breath. Her hair still smelled like someone else's shampoo. I didn't touch her, didn't move, just whispered something low, barely audible. Don't worry. I'll pretend I don't know. Because I wanted her to keep lying. I wanted her to think she'd gotten away with it. Because some betrayals deserve more than confrontation. They deserve collapse. And I was going to give her the exact ending she was designing. Only this time, I'd be the one writing the final line. She never noticed the change in me. That's how I knew she was deep into it. Too deep to see the small shifts in the man she lived with. Too distracted by Sasha, or Dmitri, or whoever else made her smile the way she stopped smiling around me. I stopped asking questions. Stopped pretending to care about where she was going. I even started giving her the out. Another late shift? Yeah. We're prepping for some big audit. It's a mess. I'd nod. Smile just enough to seem placated. Sometimes I'd offer to cook for when she got home. Sometimes I wouldn't even say goodbye. And she'd leave, almost relieved. I started leaving her phone alone. She noticed that too. Stopped guarding it so tightly. But it didn't matter anymore. I didn't need her phone. Her phone was just the symptom. Her Google account, that was the disease. What surprised me most weren't the things she searched, but the things she didn't. No searches for flowers, or anniversary ideas, or the places we used to go. She hadn't even looked up restaurants in our area for weeks. Not for 2. She stopped saving recipes. Stopped bookmarking skincare sales. Her browser became a foreign landscape. Every trace of our shared life stripped away and replaced by Google Maps for neighborhoods I'd never seen, takeout orders from addresses I didn't recognize, Uber drop-offs from names that weren't mine. I started using her own searches as cues. Cafe Trova, hours. Route to Sasha's, traffic update. Bali couples retreats. That one stopped me cold. I clicked into the search. She'd clicked through 3 different resorts. 2 had couples packages, private infinity pools, candlelight beach dinners. She'd saved one to her bookmarks. When I checked her Gmail later that night, I saw it. A confirmation email from a travel agency. A draft, not sent. Open once, then archived. But the details were there. 1 week in Bali. 2 adults. Check-in, October 17th. That was the week of our anniversary. She was booking a romantic getaway with someone else, using the same dates we got married. I stared at the screen so long my vision blurred. Not because I was heartbroken. Because I realized something terrifying. She was planning her exit. Not a slow fade. Not the kind of affair you eventually cry about and promise to end. No, she was building a new life. Slipping out of the old one like a skin that didn't fit anymore. And she'd make the split look clean. Clinical. Like I just drifted away. Like I was the one who disappeared. That was when I knew. If I didn't act soon, I'd be the man who got erased from his own story. So I changed tactics. I stopped logging her out of anything. I wanted her to get comfortable. I started giving her room to maneuver pockets of time where she could sneak away and think she was outsmarting me. One night, I even told her I'd be working late. Left the apartment around 6:15. Waited across the street in my car with the headlights off. She left at 6:42. Different hoodie, hair tied tighter, a small, tin suitcase in her hand. I followed from a distance. 2 turns, 3 stoplights. She parked outside a tall gray building with a buzz entry keypad. Not Sasha's. Not Dimitri's either. A new place. I didn't follow her inside. That wasn't the point. The point was this. She was nesting. Moving clothes. Toothbrushes. Little essentials. Women don't bring suitcases unless they're testing permanence. When she came home that night, she smelled like fresh laundry. Not the detergent we used. I logged into Google again. New Wi-Fi network. Anton. 5G. New IP address. New YouTube history. A slow jazz playlist queued at 8:19 p.m. I opened the music video. A man and woman slow dancing in a kitchen. Candlelight flickering off white tile. The woman looked happy, and I hated how easy it was to imagine her in that scene. I closed the tab and added Anton's address to my file. Weather reports, now 37 pages. Each man had his own page. Each like cataloged by date, time, activity, network, location. I mapped the overlap. Sasha was Wednesday nights. Dimitri was usually Sundays. Anton, just Fridays so far. But the overlaps were growing. Sometimes she'd be on Sasha's Wi-Fi one night, then texting Dimitri the next morning. She wasn't just cheating. She was rotating. Or maybe comparing. Trying each life on like a dress to see which one fit best before cutting the tags off. And I was the coat hanger. I didn't say anything. Not yet. But I changed my password on the joint account. Quietly moved some money from our shared savings into a separate one. I took photos of every receipt she left lying around. Not for proof. For pattern. I wanted to know her rhythm. And then one night, everything shifted. Because she left her laptop open. Unlocked. She was in the bathroom, hair still damp from the shower. She had Spotify open. In Gmail. And Slack. But what caught me, what stopped my heart, was the Chrome tab in the background. She was on her own Google activity page. Scrolling. Studying. For a second, I thought she'd found out. But then I realized what I was actually seeing. She was covering her tracks. She was looking through her own history the way I had been, checking what IPs might show up, what networks were tied to her searches, probably trying to figure out what I could see. She was getting smarter, paranoid, but not fast enough. She cleared her activity from the last 24 hours. I watched her do it. Then she closed the laptop, turned off the lights, and slid into bed beside me. I stayed very still. She whispered something, maybe good night or love you. I didn't answer. My heart wasn't racing. It had gone quiet. There was no adrenaline now, just something cooler, sharper, because this wasn't a secret anymore. This was war, and she just made her first move. By the following week, I had stopped watching her to understand her. I was watching her to win. There's a difference. Understanding is soft. It's the way you study someone you love, what makes them laugh, how they sleep, when they pull away. But once love dies, understanding hardens into something else. You don't study her because you care. You study her because you want to predict the next lie before she speaks it. I knew what she was now. But more importantly, I knew how she moved. Monday morning, she left for work in her usual blazer and low heels. Said she had a cross-department meeting she couldn't miss. Kissed my cheek. The way she used to, before all this. I kissed her back, then turned off her location permissions. She'd forgotten she shared them with me once, months ago. A setting buried in her phone that synced through Google Maps and fed data to the timeline. But when you dig long enough, you find things even the liar forgets they gave you. At 11:24 a.m., she left her office building. At 11:48, she entered a hotel lobby. Not one of the sleek boutique places, either. Just a 3-star chain with curtained windows and a self-check-in kiosk. She stayed inside for 2 hours and 41 minutes. That night, I didn't mention it. Instead, I asked her how the meeting went. She blinked once, just once, then gave me a practice smile. Fine. Boring. You'd have hated it. I nodded. Order in tonight? Sure. You pick. She sat beside me on the couch, legs folded under her, scrolling Instagram while some background show played on mute. I watched the light from the screen wash over her face. She looked peaceful. It took effort not to look at her and remember who she used to be. But that's the danger with betrayal. It doesn't kill your love all at once. It carves pieces off of it until there's not enough left to bury. That night, I copied the hotel name into the weather reports file. New tab. New entry. Labeled simply, Lena's meeting. She was getting better at hiding things. But I was already a step ahead. What she didn't know, and what I'd never tell her, was that I'd installed a keylogger on the browser 2 days earlier. Not some crude spy app. Just a bit of code. Invisible, light, and silent. It fed everything back to me. Passwords, searches, private messages. I didn't even have to wait for her to sync her account. Her fingers were giving me everything in real time. That's how I found the second Gmail account. It had a different username. A stupid one. Just her nickname and some numbers. But it was hers. I could see it. Feel it. That's where she'd moved everything. The Bali trip confirmations. The messages to Sasha and Dmitry and Anton. They weren't just affairs anymore. They were coexisting relationships. She was juggling 3 men. One for the weekday stability. One for the fantasy. One for the exit strategy. And me? I was the alibi. The foundation she kept untouched just enough to seem clean. The man she could point to and say, "See? I'm in a marriage. I'm not doing anything wrong." She'd tell them I was distant, cold, emotionally unavailable. She might even believe it. But in the Gmail drafts folder, I found something that made my blood run cold. I think he's starting to pull away. He used to ask where I was all the time. Now? Nothing. It's like he's already left, but hasn't told me yet. Maybe that's better. Cleaner. She was trying to make me the villain. I sat with that for a long time. My laptop open. Her face half lit from the hallway light as she moved around the kitchen, humming softly. And that's when I decided I wasn't going to confront her. I wasn't going to scream or accuse or play into her script. I was going to vanish. But not before showing her everything she'd tried so hard to bury. That Friday, I made a copy of the weather reports folder. Sent it to an anonymous email. Saved the password on a piece of paper tucked inside a small white envelope. That night, I started preparing the apartment. I removed anything valuable that had my name on it. Documents, flash drives, external drives. I cleaned my side of the closet. Left the hangers empty. I moved money out of our joint account. Just enough to be noticed, not enough to trigger a panic. I let her keep her illusion. Saturday morning, she woke up before me. Made coffee. I watched her from the bedroom doorway. "Morning," she said, smiling. "Morning." She came over, pressed a kiss to my jaw. "I might go see Lena later." I nodded. She'd forgotten that I already knew Lena had moved to a new city 2 months ago. She'd sent a Christmas card. Handwritten. Another entry in the folder. By Sunday, I had one last thing to do. Her laptop, like always, was left on the couch. She'd gone to take a bath. I heard the water running. I sat down and opened the screen. Signed into her hidden Gmail. Sent one draft. To myself. With the entire folder zipped and attached. Subject: in case I forget who she really was. I shut the laptop. Stood up. Walked back to the bedroom. When she came out 20 minutes later, towel wrapped around her, cheeks pink from the heat, I smiled. Thinking of taking a little trip, I said. She hesitated. Where? Not sure yet. Somewhere quiet. I need to think. Her eyes darted once. Just once. Okay, maybe I'll call Lena. Have her over. I nodded. You do that? That was the last full day we spent in the same house. She didn't notice the changes. That the laptop charger was gone. That her search history no longer matched her location pings. That I'd locked her out of our shared cloud storage. She'd get it eventually. Just not yet. Because betrayal is never just about the lie. It's about who rewrites the ending. She didn't know I was gone until the second day. I left early, just after 5 a.m. The apartment was still dark. The hallway light hummed like it always did, soft, constant, and different. I didn't leave a note. No dramatic goodbye. Just my side of the closet bare, my toothbrush missing, my shoes gone from the rack. I didn't take everything. Just what mattered. She didn't text that first day. Maybe she thought I was pulling away, like she'd written in that draft. Maybe she assumed I was sulking, waiting for her to chase me. But I knew her too well. She didn't chase. She replaced. The second morning, she called. Twice. I let it ring out. By noon, her text came. Hey, where are you? Did we fight? Did I miss something? Are you okay? All neutral. All carefully worded. No panic yet. I watched the messages come in from the dashboard I'd set up on a private server. The keylogger was still feeding everything in real time. Her browser was open. Her cursor blinked in Gmail. She clicked into the draft folder, the one I'd emptied. She blinked, refreshed, clicked again. Gone. All the planning, all the carefully curated narratives, disappeared. And then I saw the spike. She checked Google activity. Searches for keylogger detection, browser sync history, how to recover deleted Gmail drafts. Can deleted Chrome data be traced? Then came the typing. Did you go through my laptop? I didn't answer. By 3 p.m., she tried calling again. 6 times. I didn't answer. I was 2 towns over. A borrowed Airbnb. Cheap, unassuming, blank walls and bland linen. But it had fiber internet and a coffee maker in silence. I sat there at the kitchen table, my laptop open, watching her unravel click by click. She logged out of every Google device, changed her passwords, switched to incognito. Too late. The file was already in my possession. The entire weather reports folder, including IPs, Wi-Fi networks, timestamps, locations, and screenshots of every lie she tried to burn. But that wasn't the detonation. That came later. I waited until she emailed me directly. Subject, please call me. We need to talk. I replied with nothing but a Dropbox link. Inside, one file. Thursday night at Anton's. She clicked it at 7:19 p.m. I know because I watched the read receipt trigger. 3 pages. First, a list of all her IP addresses over the past 2 months. Labeled, color-coded. Second, a map with timestamps. Each house, each visit, each man. Third, a screenshot of the Gmail draft. I think he's starting to pull away. Below that, I had typed something new. He was, but not anymore. There was no reply. For 10 full minutes, her screen didn't move. I imagined her just sitting there, the light of her monitor bleeding into the walls, the weight of realization pressing against her ribs like a vice. She opened WhatsApp next. Typed, deleted again. Then the message came. I didn't want to hurt you. I stared at the words. So clinical. So stupidly small. I typed back. But you did. She started typing again. It wasn't about love. It just happened. Things changed. You stopped seeing me. I sent her one more thing. An audio file. A voice recording. From a night 2 weeks earlier. She didn't know her phone had auto-backed it up. Google Assistant had triggered on a long press. 5 minutes of her voice. Her and Anton. Talking. Laughing. He's so distant now. It's perfect. He thinks he's pulling away, but really, I'm the one planning the exit. He'll never know. And the money? Anton asked. Transferred most of it. He won't even see it missing. It's like he's already gone. I let her sit with that. The next message she sent wasn't words. It was a voice note. Her voice was shaking. I didn't play it. I just saved it to the folder. Evidentiary purposes only. Later that night, I sent the file to 3 places. A lawyer I'd already spoken to. Her work email. Her father. I wasn't proud of that last one, but I knew it would cut deep. He adored her. Protected her. Thought I was lucky to have her. Let him hear the truth in her own voice. At 11:42 p.m., the fallout began. She called me again. 6 times. Then sent a string of texts, unraveling fast. What did you do? Why would you send that? Please, talk to me. We can fix this. It wasn't guilt. It was exposure. By morning, I knew she'd been removed from a group chat at work. Her team had heard the recording. The audit she lied about turned out to be real. The HR manager sent me a thank you message for clarity. By noon, her father replied to the email with one line. You should leave her. I would. The last message I got from her came late the next day. If you ever loved me, please stop. I stared at it, closed the window, and deleted the number, because I did love her once. And that's exactly why I had to finish this. It's been 3 weeks. The apartment is still in both our names, but I haven't gone back. I don't need to. The keys are in a drawer somewhere, gathering dust next to things I used to think were permanent. The ring, the spare charger, the photo strip from that cheap booth downtown where we looked happy in black and white. I live in a short-term rental now. Sparse, neutral. The kind of place where nothing belongs to you. And that's the point. No ghosts here. No echoes of her voice in the hallway. Just the low hum of traffic outside and the soft creak of the floor when I shift my weight. She stopped texting the day after her father wrote back. No apologies. No justifications. Just silence. I thought I'd feel victorious. I don't. Truth is, there's no clean win when you dig through the guts of your own marriage and come out the other side with a folder full of timestamps and lies. Just a numb, steady awareness that the life you thought you were living was a mirage. Most people talk about betrayal like it's this sudden shattering, a moment of impact. But for me, it was slow erosion. Watching her lie without blinking. Smile while she texted someone else. Whisper things into someone's neck that she used to tell me after midnight when the lights were off and our legs were tangled. She turned love into a script, then handed the role to someone else. There's a strange kind of intimacy in surveillance. You learn things they would never tell you. See how they move when they think they're unobserved. In the end, it felt like I knew her better than she knew herself. But I didn't keep the folder. After everything, I dragged it into the trash. Emptied the bin. Wiped the server. Not because I forgave her. Not because it wasn't real. But because I didn't want to live in that file. I didn't want to become the man who refreshed an activity feed to know what love meant. I'm not naive. I know she's still out there. Probably spinning a news story for anyone who'll listen. Maybe she tells it like I left her out of the blue. That I changed. That she was trapped. That she didn't mean to fall into the arms of 3 different men, 4, if you count the hotel clerk. Maybe she believes it. But I don't care anymore. Her consequences are hers now. The recordings, the emails, the exposure, it didn't just collapse her lies. It changed the narrative. She can't pretend I was cruel. She can't pretend I didn't know. Some of her friends reached out. 2, maybe 3. Mostly silence. I didn't answer. What could they say? Sorry we helped her lie to you? Sorry we smiled at you over wine and nodded when she said she was working late? They weren't innocent. Just extras in a film they didn't know was ending. And me? I've stopped checking for her shadow in every room. I take long walks now. No destination. Just movement. I breathe deeper than I did before. I sleep without checking who's still logged into what. My phone stays quiet at night. Peace has a sound. It's the absence of needing to know. Sometimes, I still hear her voice in my head. Not the lies. The little things. Her laugh when she misread headlines. The way she'd trace the rim of her coffee mug when she was thinking. The quiet snore when she slept too hard on Sundays. Those are the things you can't delete. They don't show up in activity logs or browser history. They live somewhere deeper. I don't hate her. Not anymore. Because hate still ties you to the person who hurt you. And I want out of that house. That life. That story. There's something liberating about knowing you didn't lose her. She lost you. Piece by piece. IP by IP. Until all that was left was a man in the dark, watching her build her escape in real time, and letting her. I gave her everything she asked for. Time. Distance. The illusion of control. And in the end, I gave her one more thing. The silence she thought she wanted. Let her live in it. Let her scroll through her own life and wonder where I went. Let her open her inbox and find it empty. Let her lie in the bed she made, alone, surrounded by the noise of everything she tried to keep hidden. Because this is what betrayal looks like when it runs out of road. Not a scream, not a crash, just the quiet after. And a man who walks away, eyes open, heart steady, never looking back. Thanks for watching. If this story pulled you in, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss the next confession. Until next time, take care and watch who you trust.